Well, I am on my end looking
And
to
we're
see
live.
whether I'm getting an update.
We are live. We are alive and kicking. Welcome, viewers, to this Netflix and chill, Nico and chill.
So
God damn it, I said it now.
the first few seconds, like I'm on Twitch as well to be able to see how it's coming out, what we're doing.
Oh, it's
But
coming out, all right.
I haven't had a notification yet. Now there's a notification. So now if I click watch, so starting from now, there's people. Yeah.
I have
Okay.
to
So now I put
pee.
off the phone, and there's the sound, and there's actually not that much delay on it. So
I have to pee.
really,
Yes. Ah, screw it, I'll hold it in. But
well,
at some point I might have to go.
during a previous
Huh?
during
So
a
what
previous
are you
stream I
building?
covered for you.
Is that Star Wars with yellow and blue?
Yeah, it's a
And
pod
just
racer.
a tiny bit of grey? That's impressive. You sure that's a Star Wars set? God damn it.
Yeah, hard to believe, right? It's based
It's
on
really hard to believe. I'm building a Spider-Man set. It's from No Way Home. There are no spoilers in here. I don't think they are. Nope. But screw it, the movie is out for a while now, so we can spoil if we want to. Let's first open the box. Yes.
As usual, I would not be able to spoil anything since I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, you're like 40 billion Marvel movies behind, so whatever at this point.
As usual.
As usual, yes.
I'm slightly going to adapt my life, and I'm looking for the box cutter knife. Sorry.
Here, have mine. Have mine. Go grab it. Here, have mine.
Yeah. Thank you.
I came prepared, man.
I'm trying to roll for receiving
You have a nice menu.
for starters, we're streaming from different locations again because my wife got the Ronas. Shame on her.
Yes, shame on her.
Shame on her.
We got stickers in this one, a tiny bit. Enough about the Ronas. Let's build.
I guess I'll showcase my onesie then.
Complete. Your ass looks fat in that cam.
Yeah, it's a onesie, so
oh
it's
yeah,
not
okay.
really meant to
well, to be fair, the camera adds 10 pounds, so that's what they said on Friends.
Where do the under 250 come from, right?
You sure it's your wife who has the Ronas? I need to get more comfortable headphones. These 15 euro headphones, they're nice, but my ears hurt. But I will suck it up and enjoy the pain. Oh, do we have 2 viewers again?
Well, one of those is me probably because I'm watching our stream, but it's from.
Where did you go? I mean, can't you just sit still for 2 seconds?
I'm looking for box cutters.
Oh, for heavens.
Want to look for no, I died. Well, that's your.
Well, I mean, I thought you didn't care about the boxes. I thought you just put your fingers in there and. No?
See, we didn't have enough delay yet. Yeah, Mike.
Can't you get like a kitchen knife or something? I mean,
I did.
just grab a
I did.
kitchen knife. Or a brick separator. Just slam it in there and use a brick separator. It will work. I wonder if you can do that. I should have tried next time. Next time we'll try if we see if we can get a box open with a brick separator.
Be right back.
Oh, for heavens. Shall I start building or just wait on you? Maybe I can build my daily bugle while you look for a box cutter. I will probably be halfway by then when you're back. La, 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 la.
And I'm already back.
Already? I mean, seriously, I could have gone to the bathroom actually. I should have went. But no. Oh, my plate is a bit bendy. Just slightly bit, look. Slightly bit bendy. I should slap you with this.
Like, these are actually, I think it's the only one I have of this series, but this is actually somewhat special. So these are.
Yeah, it has colors. It has colors.
It has colors, but it's also part of the 20-year celebration of 2019, and that's when they remade a few of the classic sets.
I remember that,
So-
but those
so
have
actually-
the 20-year number at the back of the minifix, right? Oh yeah.
They have minifigs, but they also have the original model, which they reference. Like, why isn't it? Yeah. Anyway, it's when like the box, it had Star Wars on there, but still Lego system.
You're breaking up there.
The bricks were still yellow, so there will be a yellow. I mean the minifigs, a yellow minifig in here. Not really that does anything for me because I didn't buy Star Wars Lego back then. It was shortly after I stopped buying Lego sets, probably, and long before I started buying them again.
Whoa, this is like that Lay's chips sponsored this set. I mean, that's a big bag just for those pieces. I mean,
yeah,
it's like opening a bag of chips. There's nothing in here.
So the chips and the Lego has room to breathe. It's pretty sucky doing it with a knife instead of a box cutter. I already damaged my box.
Oh.
Yeah, I guess that's. I mean, you always damage your box a bit, but the degree to it and doing it right now.
So how long did you have this set already before you started to build?
I think I got it in September or October, I think, probably. Yeah.
Oh wow, that's long.
Yeah, the smaller sets, especially this one, is like these days, if I don't really know what I'll do with the sets once I've built it, it's kind of makes me pause a bit, thinking like, yeah, when will I build it? Like, I also bought a Lego Star Wars set of Hoth, but then I decided that I didn't have enough room in my closet to have both a Hoth theme and a Tatooine theme on the floor. So instead, I just only made room for the Tatooine bit and got rid of the Hoth layer, and yeah, hit those sets, and that meant that the sets I still have ready to be made, yeah, I haven't really done anything with that yet. Interesting story, right?
Well, I guess that set was too hot to handle.
Too hot to handle, indeed. So yeah. Now they
I don't know
also
about you, but I got a wong.
Wong. Let me see your Wong.
Here's my wong right here.
So the
And
set actually was
too far away.
kind of released before already, because you also have a set where you have Anakin's pod racer and Sebulba's pod racer, like the cheating mini with the
Wong.
air the legs function as arms and the arms function as legs bit. And yeah, it's especially Sebulba's pod racer looks really nice, but apparently the pod racer, this remake, even though it's been redesigned, a lot more detail and so on, they say this set has a better Anakin's pod racer. So even if you think of are considering of picking up the Sebulba, it's still worthwhile to get this one as well. But as you said, a lot of yellow, some blue, some orangey yellow, two strange blades in here, probably part of the engine. And then I have also my first Padme. Haven't had too much Padmes yet.
Why does Lego? I don't know if it's going to focus. Why does Lego make these lists as white in the manual? I've been looking for 5 minutes for a white one, and it's transparent.
Yeah, because transparent and white is probably hard to.
I mean, you can make it. Whatever.
To distinguish. So. So it doesn't immediately start with the builds. There. Oh. Like, so this is the original sets.
Oh wow, it's a bit of a difference.
Original Star Wars, Lego Star Wars, it really doesn't speak to me. Like, I think only if you played with it as a kid would you think it's better, right? It's worse in each and every way.
It's still better.
The minifigures all for now.
That is really like just. I mean, that is terrible.
It is using twice as much parts now.
Look at my Spider-Man.
So thing they say that, yeah, a lot of he's getting busy.
Spider action going on.
A lot of
yes, but it is really quite a difference in. I mean, in shape, the set you're building.
I'm one of those people who thinks that they should remake the pod racing game on Nintendo 64.
That is awesome. That I played that game on PC and that was awesome.
I really like that game. It's the only one of those hyperspeed games that I actually liked, because usually it goes too fast, or it feels like yeah, really like it's too much. but somehow with that game, I felt like it's extreme sense of speed, and you still need to be present, but it was doable to navigate with.
We also played it on the arcade machine. That was also nice. Maybe they will make the game in VR. Can you imagine that?
Which one?
The pod racer in
I
VR.
would probably get a bit sick.
Actually, I played iPad in VR, and they make the cockpits so intuitive that you don't get sick. You actually don't see a lot of the open world, but the cockpit is like 60% of your impact of your face, and yeah, it just works, I guess.
So it's.
But it would be a bit difficult for the pod racer to apply the same rules.
It depends on like most of the pod races. Yeah, it's like a convertible, so without a roof, a car where you basically just.
Well,
It's
if you
very
have the
open, very
maybe,
airy.
well, if you maybe have the nose in front of you in your vision, it could work because you have something to focus on besides the entire view around you. So it could help with that.
I wanted to say I didn't really know how what did here, but as I was waiting my turn to add, I found out. So on the manual, it's just you make this little platform to put the ugly minifigure on, and you get this extra 2x4. But then I figured that it's probably if you have several that you can connect one to another.
They just
yellow, no detail
just
on
want
the face.
they just want they just want you to buy them all. That's all.
Yeah, I mean, wouldn't you want to get them all, catch them all?
Pokemon? No.
These are normal, right? I also did some roof repair today, so I don't know if it really shows up, but my hands are a bit still blemished with the product I used for some of that. I was just now thinking, is this normal dark gray, right? Yeah. For a second I was, but it's probably because the light is a bit more yellowy or something. It's going to kind of look like old gray for a second there. And
And before you ask, yes, I made a mistake already.
yeah, better to get it out of the way now than to in an hour see that you.
I don't think this build will
need...
take an hour. Maybe, I don't know. Huh? Where is it?
Well, I think the idea was also a bit that because I don't know how many parts you need to build.
400 something.
400 something.
But since you take 6 hours to find a box cutter, we will be might be okay.
Well, I only have not even 300 to build, so yeah, I guess it's all the speed I have when we do challenges that kind of makes me very slow when we stream, because I feel like I'm on a break and I can just take my sweet time. Did you actually do anything with what we recorded last week?
Nope.
Nope.
I did
do you do anything with this one?
Not sure.
Like my ideas, you can always just upload it very rough, and say that it's rough.
Where is that piece?
Perhaps just put something in the beginning.
Where the hell is that? 1, 2, 3.
Do you mean I'm already catching up?
Did you take one of my pieces?
I think that no, I didn't. That's one, and two. The pod racing is probably my favorite thing about the prequels. I'm kind of sad that they are only featured in one of the movies.
Okay, this is nuts. Did they send me a... I really just can't find it. I'm looking for one of this.
I hate to quote those many times when historically it turned out you had just misplaced something. And even before my words were called...
God damn it, it's here upside down. Stupid thing.
You proved me right. So, stickers.
Continue for here.
Some more whites here.
Okay, let's continue.
Yeah, so this side. It's a simple sloped piece, and it already has 3 stickers on it. Like there are 5, 8. There are 14 stickers here for 300 parts.
Really?
I think times 5, 14, 50, 70. So there are relatively speaking more stickers here than on the Monkey Kit set.
That's impressive.
Yeah, just now it Discord did cut off your laugh for me. So you are right. And so yeah, Sarah caught the Ronas, and for some reason I still have not.
Are you sleeping on the couch now?
No, I'm not. We're still sleeping in the same bed, so that's a bit what's...
Oh, well.
I did on my end of the bed. I did put my head where normally my feet are, because we
like
only have one bed.
Oh yeah, like that, yeah.
And I can't really sleep in the couch because yeah, our couch is not big enough, and it's...
Can you have like a blow-up mattress?
I would not survive that for.
Oh man, I can sleep like a rose on a blow-up mattress. I mean, I actually did for a while because I couldn't find a new mattress, and I was like, oh, screw it. And then I slept for 6 months on a blow-up mattress. It was great, but the problem is by the end of the night, by the beginning of the morning, the air is all gone. So that's a bit troublesome.
I would think that depends on the mattress you have. If you buy a...
Well, after 6... Well, it was already one I had for a while, so yeah. That's great. And also, in the winter, it's not that convenient. It's colder then.
And how long did you sleep on that?
6 months.
6 months?
Oh, no, yeah, yeah.
If it's 6 months, then it pays to... Or was it when you were still young?
No, actually, it was a few years ago.
Like Probably, wait.
Is it that one? No, it's not.
Like for that period. Like when I was in college, at university, rather, I also slept in a fold-out bed, and did that for 2 years because I had a very small dorm room. It's not a dorm. It's
I
not a
cannot
collective
sleep on.
dormitory in Belgium, but something similar on my cot. And
I can't
I
sleep
think,
on a fold-out bed. No, it's terrible. It's too hard.
well, the problem was actually the reverse. It was too soft, but it not a
Really?
fold-out. It was not of a couch that you fold out. It was a bed that you could
Yeah, no.
have together.
I
It was
can't I
very
can't
soft.
sleep I can't sleep that soft. Weird.
And I think that is probably a reason for why my back is in the state that it is. I should not have done that. But yeah, the bed that was present in the thing I rented was even
I made one
worse
of those
crap.
cool pieces discoveries that go together. Like this one. The slope fits nicely in here. See? That's a nice fit together.
And those are wheel wielkassen, or how do you say it?
Yes.
Thing.
Yes. You know, it's that thingy.
I would ask what it is exactly you're building. Oh right, so it's a double one. Yeah.
Sticker time.
But I presume that's
This set came without the brick separator. How is one supposed to put the stickers on there without the brick separator? Call Lego. Tell them they are insane. I think every set from now on should include a brick separator just for the stickers.
Well, they sell those separately for €4 or something. So
what? These cost 4 euros?
Yeah, I think in the Lego shop you can buy them.
That's insane. That's insane.
I applied it the wrong way because I was holding the brick the wrong way, but I was able to clear it. And it's on there a bit crooked, but I think it's only very, very minimal sign that I had to put it on twice.
I'm giving it a 9 out of 10 because it's not completely centered, but I'm happy with it. Yay for stickers.
Yes. I gave the viewers 3 hours to look at that sticker. So I think those who wanted to see it should have seen it. I think probably, supposedly. So yeah, those are already 6 stickers applied.
I did my first one.
And there's transparent technique in here.
Really? I never seen that before. That's awesome.
And that's the only thing that people say they actually like better in the Sebulba set, because there it's more like it's a bit made as though it's connected to to the sand, and there's more sand color in there, and apparently they say that it comes out better than what I'll actually make with this is like a grip to hold it. And I will hold off on my judgment until I have swooshed it around.
But if you for no reason decide you don't like the set you're building, I would take the transparent Lego Technic piece.
That's all right.
It's just a suggestion. I mean, you barely have any room for Lego, so you might as well give it to me then.
That is true.
Because that's the kind of friend I am.
Always thinking of
other people's problems.
Always thinking of other people and their overstock in Lego.
That's my number one priority in life. I have been making some reorganizing my Legos as well. I mean, so far I was able to give every piece of Lego, well, not beside the same colors, its own little space. That's insane. Well, almost.
Not even each type, but every piece. So you have 27,000 boxes or something?
No, Lego has 3,700 different pieces, not counting the colors, I mean. But then again, you have also old Lego that's also been retired. I mean, the current Lego pieces I have are almost in every separate box. Besides, if I have like 1 or 2 or 3 of each, then I put them together. I'm like, screw it. You're not worthy of your own spot yet.
Well, I did buy another really useful box tower. And I also got some more floors for the towers I already have. So it should be that in the near future. See, it's already floating. And I put it on wrong, didn't I? I did. Oops. So in the near future, I will also be reorganizing my Lego.
I mean, I want to build stuff, but I already tried to build like a replica of Benny's spaceship, but I was like, yeah, now I want to try something else, but before I do, I just want to clean up the mess I made first. Because if you don't, at the end, there's going to be total mayhem, Rebecca.
Well, I still have like sitting on a shelf here. I have this mess. Like part of an inn that I was trying to make, but then demolished because I wanted to put the part of it. How do you say?
Yeah.
How do they call that again? Like make it into a.
This is the current mess. This is the current mess I have.
Yeah, but for me, it's the only the mess related to a build I was trying to.
Well, this was also this was also related to the, because I bought like every Lego City Space set from last year, And then I had a lot of pieces left, and I was like, I need to sort these first before I start something else.
Yeah, there are several things I would like to build. Like if I had a lot of time to devote to Lego, I would build a lot of stuff. But yeah, it takes a lot of time.
It really does.
Like it feels like in the near future, probably most of the stuff I make will probably just be other people's creations. Like I have developed a taste for the custom stuff, but yeah, just actually making your own stuff, it takes so much time. Especially if you
Stay
want
on
it
his
to
legs.
look good.
I mean,
that's a spidery thingy.
Look at that.
Is that Dr. Octopus, but in his arachnid form?
I guess I did not know he had a form like this, but whatever.
Ah, is it actually? I thought I was making a joke.
Sure, whatever. Pack number 2. At least it's a bit filled now. I mean, it's a bit filled now. So
I'm in the midst of my transparent workings. The problem is probably also that since it's stagnant and there's so many holes in it, even though it's transparent, yeah, there's so much texture in it. Like the effect isn't really transparent. It's only if you hold it up against something really dark, and even then, because you have all these bricks, I do understand, I think, how visually the more just acknowledging that it's there, the color, that the pieces are there, and then making something out of it that's an actual opaque color. Like I think I'm agreeing with that. It's visually a better choice. But yeah, we'll see how the swooshability works out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Made another mistake.
You are starting to become me.
Yeah, it's
you know what, Frank?
Picking up
this is strange.
Haha. or weren't you even joking, and were you literally saying this is...
Remember when we did an unboxing of the video that we'll never post because I lost the files, and we found a fake Doctor Strange in there?
Yeah.
And you said that the cape was plastic in the fake one. Well, this one's also plastic, but this one is a bit bendy plastic. The one we tested was like really not bendy at all. It's a bit bendy, but it's plastic.
But I mainly remember that I felt like the chest piece of the torso piece of the
guy can
way too much detail, too fine detail.
The guy can't stand up. Okay, he can. Okay, never mind.
Yeah,
the weight of the cape is pulling him back a bit.
Yeah, you need to counterbalance for the weight of the cape.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably why usually it's made of cloth instead of things that have a lot of...
But I probably won't be able to get the shape with the cloth version. with the cloud version. Right, on to the main build.
I would think it matters. It depends on who you're asking what's the main part of the build is. Like I could imagine that a kid says, "Yeah, this cool thing with pincers and it's crawling around," but that is actually the main build, and like the boring room is what you get extra. I have also moved on to bag number 2. How many bags do you have? 4?
3.
3.
Oh.
So I am building too slowly.
Why is that?
Because if you end up waiting for me, even though I have less pieces, that's
If I'm done, I'm cutting off the stream.
immediately.
Because I'm in charge of it.
We're going asymmetrical.
Yes.
Are you as well?
No. Well, at some point I will be, but so far it's been all symmetrical. Look at that. It's symmetrical so far.
Yeah. It reminds me of that other thing we did. Have you had the courage yet to restart part 2?
Bad connection. Maybe I'll do it in my next vacation break, which will be in a week.
Already?
Yes.
Vacation.
With the storm, we had an extra half day of work. Yay!
Ah. An extra half day off or an extra day of work?
Half day of off. Because of the storm, we were not allowed to be in school.
Yeah.
Because of too much wind.
But still, you didn't leave in time, I heard, because you were
I
stuck.
left in time. It's just the train station giving me wrong information.
Yeah. I did see on the news that you were far from the only one complaining about that.
I mean, seriously. I was just a bit rude. Oh well, I got home.
Yeah, but in Holland, like, they also cancelled it, but because they did it, they announced it the day before. It was a bit easier for people to adjust to it.
It was. Oh well.
I feel like I'm now making one engine and the next bag will be the other. Yeah, that's the size of this set.
There's a rumor that they will make another Doctor Strange sanctuary set, like a bigger one this time.
I'm
hope
unaware
that's true.
of the first one, so
It's quite popular because if you want to buy it now, good luck finding it at a decent price. A lot of people bought 2 of them and just made a big one.
And how much did it cost originally, and how much does it cost now?
I have no idea. I have to look it up. I think if you sell it now, it might be 400 euros.
How many pieces?
Not that many, actually. Well, currently it's around 300 euros if you can still find it some places, but it's really not that expensive originally. But yeah, I think it might be around 100 euros.
100. So it did have like 1,000
I
pieces
think so.
or something.
Let me see. Yeah, 109 euros, and it had 1,004 pieces. And now you can find it, if you're lucky, for 300, maybe 250.
And when was that made?
2018. 2018. Yep.
Okay, so
That's strange. It's strange. Yeah. I mean, it's like one of the only Marvel stats. Just come off, you see. One of the only Marvel stats that is like rare. There might be others, but I'm not aware of them. I mean, it's the one I'm aware of since I started doing Lego again. So, yeah. I mean, if you were to find the set you're building now, I mean, the first one, does it cost a lot? I mean, or do people just don't care?
well, I feel like usually on the places I look for Lego, there's close to no interest in anything that's before like, especially anything that's before the time that they switched to the other skin color. Like sets that still have the yellow minifigs. Like sometimes something gets put on the, even if it has a box, it does not seem that expensive. But I think, yeah, there's still not so many around, so it is rare. So I can imagine that there are boxes that go for more more money. But yeah, I wonder perhaps it's probably only the people who played it with it back then, and they might be just a little bit before that they really get into that I have a lot of money to spend on stuff periods, and yeah, the other people who liked Lego and then came back to it later. You're
I have to
showing
put
me
a sticker
strange
on this. I have to put a sticker on this.
Yeah.
I don't want to.
Well, it will be hard not to make it crooked in some way. I'm going to
But they
refresh
have
the
to
screen.
make it symmetrical. They have to align. That's what I hate. When stickers have to align to another piece, no, it's where I draw the line. That's where I draw the align. Yeah. Oh well.
It will be fine.
Let's try it. Let's try it for new challenges. Whatever.
Yeah, I mean, my like I said, because I
Oh wait, I can. Of course.
With that monkey kit set, I feel like I'm over my stickers are the worst thing.
Yeah, but that's when I outsmart the system. I just do something like this, and then I just try to align them.
Okay.
Because I made 4 of those, so now I have more steady space to align them. I hope, I think, I'm not sure. I don't know what I'm doing. I mean, but where do you even hold the brick separator in this one? Do you do it like this, or?
Yeah.
What would you do? I
Um,
mean, it's a.
I would probably hover over my plate.
I think this
I
would
like
be
to.
the more better option. Well, the first one is always easy because that one's on pretty good. Number 1 is done. Look at that
Number one is done.
alignment. Look at that beautiful alignment. Look at it.
As far as I can see it, it looks pretty good.
And the
So
second one will suck.
So the camera that has your face, that's the new webcam?
Yes, same as yours.
Yeah.
No, yes, no.
It does have a very different green.
Because I tweaked the colors a bit in OBS.
Ah.
Also, the lighting helps. But I messed around with the colors. If I don't mess around with it, it's not the same green. I could make it the same green, but meh.
So I have currently 1 engine.
Just go like this
We're
then.
on to bag number 3.
Really?
Yeah, final bag coming up. With the 3 actual minifigs in here. I mean, there is the look, but yeah, I don't know what I'll actually do with that. I don't think, like I think the sets actually seem to sell. Like they on some places they were already like going up in value. Not that much, but a tiny bit.
Well, actually, this could work. Meh, whatever.
But I don't know if the figs by themselves.
It's too bad that they put 20-year anniversary on the back of the minifigs.
Yeah, I just know. Thing is, it's such an like there is some sort of seemingly weird gray being used for the chest module with the buttons, but like just in general, there's so little detailing on there. Yeah, the faces, like it's a bit strange because it's so if this is true to form, already in the beginning they were a bit different from regular Lego. Well done.
Well,
like,
it's not the
perhaps a little bit
best.
closer to the other cam so people can see it in the. Yeah,
It's not the
to
best,
your right.
but
Yeah,
I mean, it's still cool. The nightmare is over for now.
you can sleep again. But
Yes.
what I found out is that looking at this, is that already in the beginning they were a bit different because he has an extra line under his mouth to indicate a lip, and 2 lines over his eyes to indicate eyebrows. And the eye dots are a bit smaller than usual.
Is Sarah streaming something, or
Why?
because your sound is more bad? No, your sound is like a little bit is worse than last time. You're breaking apart sometimes.
Well,
You can still make out the words, but it's
it's less than ideal. I don't know if Sarah is doing anything data intensive. Yeah. Yeah, like it can also be possibly on the end of Discord. Like if they have
Maybe.
a moment where they actually can't miss all of the bandwidth that is being used or whatever.
And just to make it more fun, I have another 4 of these. Well, I had practice, so practice makes perfect.
Yeah, so I have the 2 minifigs, so I think I'll just be making another engine, which is yeah, basically the same as bag number 2. But yeah, at 300 pieces, there's not too much that you can.
How much did you pay for that?
Like usually these go somewhere around, I think, 40 euros already, but I was able to pick this one up at I think 28 or something, so it was 32 including shipping.
Oh, nice.
Second hand, which I like that. So.
Oh, you didn't buy it new, no?
Well, I didn't buy it in the shop. I bought it second hand from someone, but I say second hand, but it was sealed. You mean I'm opening the bags? You saw me open the box. Just up until this moment, I was not 100% sure there wasn't anything wrong with the set. I was always a bit fearful that I would open it and then see that something was missing or
Just like it's the new box, but the old Legos. Just imagine that.
yeah,
Gotcha.
that would be funny then.
Actually,
But,
that might
yeah,
be a bargain, maybe, for that kind of price. I don't know.
I don't know. It's a bargain I don't really want because again it's.
I think. Oh no, they didn't. I thought Lego messed up a bit because there's like a really white thing at the end, but it's also on the manual. Like this is like really. You see what I mean? It's like where is the rest of the drawing? But it's like that. I see.
At least on my screen, I think you're overestimating how much detail I can pick up on your thing.
Maybe I can. I don't know.
I'm thinking actually the way I'm building now with how the cam is set up, that's probably not too bad. I feel like
you should like make markings on the floor or whatever you can with tape. Like this is where this goes. This is where that goes. That way you can easily position everything. Like I don't know.
Yeah, but this is also just a living room.
Well, you gotta live a little.
That I already take up too much space in with Lego as it is. So luckily Sarah is not listening along, I think, to hear your suggestions.
Nobody needs to know.
Now that I'm talking about it out loud, of course she's becoming wary.
That's how we get viewers. Now she will watch the stream. Yeah, you viewer.
Yeah, that is true. That is a very that's like that's a swan.
I'm liking the sticker placement. I'm happy with it. If you can see it at least, I don't know. Can you?
A bit.
Yes, a bit overblown. Yeah. There's still one or two left. I don't know, maybe two. One, two. 2 left.
Still
No,
hoping,
1. No, it's 1 big plate, so... Then I'm done with the terrible stickers.
still hoping at one time I find that set at a very interesting price. I do like some of those minifigs.
I got like
I
4 minifigs in this one.
4.
Yeah,
There's
but
only
still,
3.
I still need to build one.
Okay.
Still need to build MJ. Well, no. Well, yeah. The long ones are hard with the brick separator. I mean, these are a bitch, even with the brick separator.
Gotta keep it separated. Gotta keep those bricks separated. Corona.
No. Damsy, I messed up. Off you go, come on.
I actually like that it's a bit loose on here. That means probably that it shakes a bit around as you're flying it, and for this specific build, for this specific model, that seems true to form. And like a game that went a bit more deep, or like in Car Simulator or something, where you like you start pod racing, but then you need to acquire parts, and like in the Banjo and Kazooie game where you made your own vehicles. I really liked that game. I don't know
Really?
why people did not like it. It was not
Because
a
it's,
Banjo and
yeah,
Kazooie
you
game.
know, because of the hate.
What?
Hate against, because of, oh, people, you know how people are. They just hate that Rare wasn't longer with Nintendo and all that shit. People are just like that.
I think people just because it was different, and I understand if they say Banjo and Kazooie and you're looking forward to what you're expecting from Banjo and Kazooie, you need to adjust because it had none of the original things in there. But I really liked what they did with it instead. There are so many games now these days from indie developers that are basically doing the same, where you have like a sandboxy thing, and then you need to build a vehicle. And usually, yeah, building the vehicle and then just flying around with it is the whole thing. But then you have objectives and whatnot in the Banjo and Kazooie thing. I really liked that. If
I
you
never really played the
combine that
Banjo and
with pod
Kazooie.
racing, and you like need to go to in the game, then go to a place where they have your parts, and you need to look for the best parts and try to like did you see Boba Fett by now?
Yep.
So in the not the final episodes, I think the one before that, probably like one of the Mando episodes, where they're building his new spaceship. Even
I have to say one thing.
Yeah.
While they were building the spaceship and they're listing all this technical stuff, I think that was an homage to Harrison Ford. One said, "Lucas, you can type this shit, but you can't say it." I mean, that
Can't
was like,
make me
yep.
say it, or
No, you can type this shit, but you can't say it. You know that, right? That saying. Really?
I can imagine what he meant by it, but actually I don't. Remember, I'm not young, and I have not
But
spent
even
much
I
time
knew
with him.
that. Even I found that by myself. Ah, come on.
Yeah,
It's,
so
it's just one of the quotes of Harrison Ford. If you type it in Google, you might even find it.
yeah, so
I
I
mean, that
guess
was so.
I guess you can take my Star Wars cards.
I mean, I even said it
The
to
truth has come out.
my friend Brian. He was like, "Oh yeah, that's right." I mean, he knew it, but he didn't think about it at the time. Maybe I'm the biggest Star Wars fan.
Like I was completely out of Star Wars for many years, so yeah.
Oh, really? I didn't know
Yeah.
that. I did not know that.
So I think I only got back into Star Wars with The Mandalorian. I mean, I went to see the Force Returns, no, the Force Awakens. Um, and yeah, it wasn't that bad. I was
I
okay,
mean, I
but
can. I mean, the three latest ones they made. I just can't even remember the titles. The Force Awakens I remember, but the other two I forgot the title. It's
The Last
just
Jedi
that. Okay, yeah, that one.
is
What was the
actually
middle
better, I
one?
think.
What was I don't know. Was that the middle one or the last
The
one?
last one, the last one, the Rise of Skywalker
Oh yeah,
is
see,
not
that's
is
how
really
I
not.
mean, the only good Star Wars movies they made were Rogue One and Solo.
I like the Last Jedi as well, and it's not super, but I enjoy the Force Awakens. I think they just yeah. I don't know why
Well,
they made
yeah,
those decisions to like to bring back Palpatine. Why?
I have no
And
idea.
then yeah, like there are a few alternate scripts floating around on the internet. One
Yeah,
of
so I've heard.
several of which are rumored to actually have been in the running, but then they decided against it because they thought, yeah, um, because of what seems to be not good reasons, they decide to go a different direction. And like some of those scripts seem so much better. So, like there's one that's really dark where I think in the end they actually don't win or something.
Mm-hmm.
Um, am I supposed to push this through? Okay. Um, hmm. So they didn't win, but I think it's actually where Finn becomes a Jedi,
Uh-huh.
and I think Luke actually is still there or something. Or no, I think Leia plays a bigger role, but yeah, of course, once that Carrie Fisher died, I do understand that they didn't want to keep trying to yeah digitally add her, especially since in the beginning those where they added with effects Carrie Fisher after the fact it was very uncanny valley. It didn't really
Mm-hmm.
look like Carrie Fisher.
As
Mm,
long as it sells the effect, I guess. I don't know. Did we become? Did we? I mean, start a new age of bringing back old actors by special effects?
Well, in the series, they did do the same for Luke now. Luckily, because there was so much bad feedback of what they did at the end of Mandalorian season 2, I think. They like it looked better in the Book of Boba Fett, but I believe that
but
they
the
brought
story.
someone on board that
Because
in his spare
somebody
time,
somebody on the internet made a better version, and they hired the guy. I still
So,
think the first attempt wasn't too bad. I mean, well, the second one is
again,
better. I
that
mean,
uncanny valley. It was just that it didn't look it didn't look human anymore, like something that was trying to be act like a person, but wasn't actually. And yeah, like in horror, that can be good, but I think in something like Star Wars, that's fantasy. And kids don't really want that.
I have one of this left, and I don't know where it goes.
That seems not what you're supposed to have left.
Well, it's not falling apart, so I guess it's good.
I have completed my build.
Start over.
Now it's just a question of trying to get it in the frame.
So the reason why the middle part is transparent is because it's also not there in the movie, or
yeah. So in the movie, it's just this pod. The pod's the engine. This is the pod, right? The pod, then it's connected to two wires, and then there's two engines that are kept together with this magnetic thing. And don't think too much about what the physics like it wouldn't work in real life. But yeah, just the way it looks, it's very Star Wars, like it's Star Wars vehicle design at its best, right? It looks dangerous, it looks wild, chaotic, very powerful, nice. Very speed. Like the speed, the pod racers are everything. Did everything right that the Vespas in Book of Boba Fett did wrong. Like a better color balance, something that looks very, very speedy. I wonder if I can. No, he doesn't actually. Not able to reach the handles, but still. Yeah, I can see myself at one point, perhaps if we have more room, like on our first floor, when it's ever finished. I can see myself one time getting a set of UCS instructions, but like for a play scale model, I think this looks pretty nice.
Is there an UCS version of that one, or?
Well, custom. So someone made. You need to order. Well, and I think there's probably even different versions, like 2 bricks that of whom I usually buy instructions, he just finished his. He also made a Millennium Falcon, and his scale is actually between UCS and play scale, and so it's smaller than the official UCS Lego Millennium Falcon, but it has more detail, and especially on the insides, like in the UCS model, you have two, like half of the ship you have detail, but then the other is empty, and he made his ship so that all of it has function. So yeah, and then at the end you can see what they had in that year. What else they were selling. Oh yeah. So I built too fast.
And you had also lesser bricks and also lesser stickers. I don't know.
How many stickers do you have? I had 14.
Had annoying stickers.
8. Yeah, probably also something like 14.
I don't know. 4, 6, 7, 8. Is that 1 or 2? 9, 11. Ooh. There's a lot of greebling in here. Where is the other? Huh?
So I also got this in the mail today. My remote switch. Because if I look at my videos that I make, there's one big difference between one set, which is I think pretty awesome, and another, and that's that I made one with stop motion, and the other I just filmed. And since I like the fact that I'm getting way more views on one than the others, I decided that for my Razor Crest that I got the instructions for, I would also do it in that way. But I want to avoid getting repetitive stress syndrome again by having to go like this to my camera while filming. So I got this remote switch. It's with a wire. What? On whose camera? On my camera? Or a switch for my camera?
Is it your camera?
Well, Sarah, theory has a point that it is in fact her camera. But,
but it's your cable.
But it is her. By now it's not so expensive anymore. But like, actually no, that one is your grandmother's camera. The 600D.
That's an old camera. That was my second camera, the 603. Second camera I ever owned.
Really?
Yep. I started with 1000D, but that one couldn't record any video. Well, at least not at decent quality.
You mean once you switched over to photo cameras, because before you had those?
Oh yeah, I mean that was my second DSLR then. Okay.
Yeah.
Damn it, these cameras back
Do
in
you
the
still
day.
have those old cameras with which you...
I have a few of them, yes. I still have the Panasonic one we made Gym TV clip back in the day when we were at the LAN party. I don't know.
The Tekken...
Yes. Still, and the camera still works, by the way.
for PlayStation 2.
Yeah. And I sold my PlayStation 2, and then 3 days later I won a PlayStation 2. That was funny. I was so nervous when they were going to call me on TV. Like,
I understand that.
that was also much. How long was that ago? Like more than 10 years ago? I don't know. It was a long time ago.
Well, it was at least when we were still doing LAN parties. So before I started working, and I think before I started going to university, it was still when I was doing the hogeschool. Is that college? I don't know. So I think that's actually 15 years ago, probably.
Damn it.
Like, people were still talking about PlayStation 2 on television. It's before 2006.
Oh yeah, and
Because
okay.
in 2006, I think the 360 and PlayStation 3 came out. So.
Oh yes, that was a long time ago.
We are old men.
Uh-huh.
We try to deny it, but
somehow I think I'm still 20 years old, but nope. We're not. And somehow we're going back to our roots with Lego. We started with Lego, we'll die with Lego.
yeah, and right just before COVID, like the fact that we started filming again, I think if we're talking about our common roots, that's the big thing, right? Like when we used to, like we started filming at the LAN party, and then that's the thing, right? Most of the times we filmed, it was at LAN parties. We went to LAN parties. We started downloading things because that was still the way you did those things.
I never did that. No, I was not there.
Sharing things, because downloading is bad, but sharing things is good. Like, right?
We just wanted to be sure there was nothing abusive that was being shared.
Yeah, nothing illegal, right? Only.
Of course.
We only copied things we already had the original for.
Of course we do, like thousands and thousands of movies.
And then we played a few games, and then while the other people were still playing games, we would take a camera and start filming, because that was more fun than
playing the games, because we suck at them. I know I did.
Well, there were a few games, like I remember playing Half-Life 2 on your PC for the first time because mine couldn't run it. And I think the same thing for GTA San Andreas, the first one. Always when you had a better PC than me, so I would try it out on your PC, and then a few years later only get it on mine.
Well, if you're talking about gaming, there's another Xbox controller. Well, it's a controller.
Generic controller. Number 3.
That looked like an Xbox controller.
You're a giant. Look
and
at
it's
that.
also on a couch. It's also on a couch.
Yeah. I did like our blind build. It's I think the first non-Star Wars thing I made that I kept. Like I still haven't
Convert. Convert.
It's in my the bookcase where I keep my comics.
Yep.
Seems appropriate to keep it there. Sarah is watching me. Is that because I'm making too much noise, or because is everything okay?
Yeah.
Is okay?
Yes.
Yes. So I was asking Sarah because she was looking at me like, but apparently she needs me to do something. So it's big ass time again. Okay, I will wait a second because Bjorn is also out of frame. Okay. Yeah.
This is the modification of my torch. Oh, it's missing the extra couch I made. But this is the modification I made. Okay, you're gone. Damn it, you're gone. How rude. How rude of you.
So, what's with the modification? And now you've run away and...
I'm looking for my couch. Oh, here it is. Wait, I'm here.
In the meanwhile, I'll make my...
See, this is the modification of the door I made. It has a hallway. I mean, now you can just walk. The door is missing, but yeah. See, it's because this is more.
The series.
That is more accurate in the movie because two characters walk through to this door, and then go see Thor, and Thor is actually sitting over here, and the other two guys are playing in here. So this is more an accurate version of the movie.
Did you look at instructions or at your bricks?
Nope, I made it myself with just two Thor sets. I made it myself.
But I want to say, did you blind build it?
No.
Like someone I met in at PAX in PAX West in 2019, the pre-Corona PAX. One of the last. Most of the people I met there, I added on Twitter, but him I added on Facebook, and I saw he made that specific set as well. So that he enjoyed it a lot, and then I shared my video, like you do. When you're trying to make people watch the stuff you made, and said, "Hey, this is a way to make it last, make your bricks last longer." And he said, "Well, that doesn't look like fun." And now that now that I say it, I hope that he meant it the way that I originally interpreted it. In the way that it doesn't look like fun to do it that way, and it doesn't look like fun to watch it. I mean, that's possibly also true, but I mean, we put time into that, so don't be so harsh.
We did put time into that, maybe a little too much. The set was maybe just too big. I think smaller sets would be more fun to watch. I don't know.
Yeah, like I don't know if I want to do that again per se, but I do.
I maybe want to try it with sets no longer than 100 pieces, maybe.
Well, I think it was the funnest challenge we did to actually do.
Because at some point you just keep looking for the bricks you're looking for, and you just lose momentum and things to say. It's not easy to keep it entertaining. That's the problem.
That's the problem.
And at some point it becomes a bit. If you do it with more sets, it becomes repetitive, I think.
Yeah. So
we tried. I mean, we tried.
but like just if you're actually bored and you're not doing it as a stream, but just as a challenge with friends, like of all the things we did, I think that's probably if you have a friend that's also into Lego, and you're both thinking like, how can we Lego costs a lot, how can we make it last a bit longer? I think that was a fun way to do it. Plus, the advantage is we needed to film it, so we had some extra setup difficulties. But if you're not filming it, it's I would think a lot easier to set up. You just need a box, put your hands in there.
I
There
still
doesn't need
think
to be an extra
maybe
light.
it's more of a streaming concept than a video concept. Maybe I don't know. But then again, the set cannot be too big.
No, I would say that people need to do it with the Millennium Falcon at the very least. Base scale model for as an entry
Millennium Falcon, at least, yeah, sure.
as an entry tryout, and then once you say, yeah, just this is fun, I want to go a bit further, you try the UCS model or
Or
the
the
Colosseum.
Titanic. Or the Titanic. This is annoying to put on. What the hell? Ah,
What are you doing?
is this supposed to go
It's a
here?
bucket with a handle.
You built this before?
No, because I see on the stream what's your
Yeah, but it's
or is it a pot?
it's a pot with a hand.
Yeah,
But I'm not feeling it,
that's
man.
also in the
I'm not feeling it at all.
that's also in the blacksmith set. It is supposed to fit on there, so
It is?
yeah.
Well, people really... this is where I start to lose my Lego patience.
Yeah, but just nudge it slowly.
Really?
Small
Wow.
pieces, don't.
Wow. Wow. I didn't know it could do that. Now I do. Do I want to build another one like that? No.
I just thought of the fact that I didn't share it to Twitter or anything. So yeah.
Well, I still have a few bricks left. Just tear yours apart again and start over.
Yeah, but if I tell people, hey, come watch me. I'm done building something, and I'm watching Bjorn build something.
Please
come watch me watch Bjorn build something.
Help me free out my misery. It's taking too much time. Well, I suffer. You suffer.
I'll post it. I'll say, come watch me watch Bjorn build.
And watch me with my awesome released Star Wars set or whatever.
Watch me watch Bjorn build something. Mine's already done.
I just have so many tiny pieces.
And work process. I think I need to keep something in the screen so people see that there's something to. So yeah, I was wondering if I would make this one or Big Z's tank, but I think I'm glad I didn't go for that one because like now it was a very chill build, and otherwise it was More than twice the number of pieces, and it would have been.
I have an egg. Is that a dinosaur egg?
Hopefully.
Life finds a way. Did you see the new trailer?
I only saw part of it, and I saw that finally there's some dinosaurs with feathers in Jurassic Park.
That's like at the end of the trailer. So you
Yeah,
saw
but
part of it. Where did you quit? Like 5 seconds before the trailer ended?
the reason I saw that part is because I started following some paleontologists on Twitter. Well, paleontological artists or whatever, who in 3D or 2D make reference pictures of dinosaurs, applying all the things that are known about dinosaurs now. So, like most of the dinosaurs that are in Jurassic Park have at least some feathers. Feathers, I think. Even even the T-Rex, I think, has a few spots of
Really?
feathers.
Well, I knew that some dinos were supposed to have feathers. I never expected the T-Rex as well.
Well, it's only a few spots on his back, if I remember correctly. But for instance, the Velociraptors, those have feathers all over. Also, the
Yeah.
Velociraptors are not as the creatures they show in the Jurassic Park movies as Velociraptors, because
That's true.
the actual size is only 30 centimeters or something, I think. And what are shown
Whoa.
in
I did not know that Lego had this. It's a time thingy. But it
Does it
doesn't
work?
work. It's stuck. It's the first time seeing this.
My first question.
Would be cool if it worked, but no, it doesn't. They could make it work like this. I mean, they could make it work.
Like, I feel the only thing, the only perhaps bad thing about this is that I feel like this. So the build has a handle built in. You can hold it on here and swoosh it around. But like for my grown-ass hands, there's only 2, perhaps 3, if I squish them, fingers that I can fit in, and there's one stuck under it. So it's like it's saying you are too big to play with this, or I need to like build it in a very strange way. But for the rest, I really like this build. I mean, since it actually has the handle, I feel like this is the only one I'll actually swoosh around with a bit. I'm really glad that there's good swooshability on Tubrix's Millennium Falcon build, but that is because if a build can swoosh, that means that you can also just easily place it somewhere else if you want to. If you can handle it easily, if you want to clean it, take the dust off. Now that I found out that you can do it with the vacuum cleaner. Being watched by the dog and the missus.
Yeah, good enough.
What? Because I'm yapping too much. Because I'm talking too loudly, because I'm too far away from the microphone. And so these are... What is a good question? Now that I'm actually a host, I should try to... Like, what is the very first Lego set you ever got? The very
Dear
first.
Christ.
I'm going to refresh because there's too much delay, I see.
I have no idea. Jesus, man. But could be one of the old Lego cities, like one of the fire of the police department, maybe. I don't know, but I really have no idea.
I think
Well, I
for
did
me,
own most of the space sets, but yeah.
I think for me,
For you?
the very first I got was a very small one. Didn't you also get a very small one as a first? As a tryout to see if you would like Lego?
I really can't remember.
Mine, I think, was a car. I think it had a minifig, and it was one of those cars where you have like the floor plates, and then you stick on two bricks for the plates with hinges, bars for the wheels, and then probably 20 bricks or something extra, and that was the whole thing. Back then, it still cost less than 100 francs, I think, less than €2.50. We're finding some tentacles.
Now I know what these are.
Tentacles?
Well, we have to see the new trailer of Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness to understand what I'm pointing at.
I probably
Well, actually, you already know. You know that other Doctor Strange Lego set with the tentacle beast?
I saw it in the store. It has brown tentacles, yeah.
Well, yeah. It's actually green.
When I saw that and it was lime green or something, I immediately thought that's probably tentacles. It looks like something that's too good of a color not to be tentacles. Perhaps I'll put up the cam just a bit, since I'm no longer.
Where do these two go?
Don't you have the manual? Oh, those are the spare bricks. You're supposed to give them to me.
Well, come and get them.
Well, in 2 weeks. And then we need to do another recording.
I know, they go below the... Oops. Below the damn it, what's it called?
Bookcase?
Case, yeah, whatever. Well, it's not books, it's all random stuff and crap.
Yeah, but a rack. So, what's your favorite Lego set that you've owned?
Right now or as a kid?
Both.
Well, as a kid it was the Barracuda spaceship. Pirate ship.
Yeah, you actually owned that as a kid.
So
lucky.
Right now, oh damn it. Well, I didn't build it yet. Maybe the Daily Bugle? I don't know. Actually, if I'm maybe brutally honest, the one I did build, I like now.
This
is the second one.
Kit.
Yeah, this is the second one, by the way. So yeah, I actually like that one. A lot.
So that's your favorite build even?
So far, yes.
So it cost you 1/5 of the classic Lego?
Well, I'm talking about the new ones. I mean, the new.
Yeah.
Of course, the monorail is still going to be my one of the all-time old favorite ones. But yes.
Well, it is very expensive. So yeah, but my most expensive set is the Millennium Falcon, and that is not my favorite set. I remember there were parts in there that, yeah. The problem is there was too little working on rooms and the things that were fun. And that was when I found out that probably, or when I realized I would probably like, oh, you're finished. That I would probably like
I have no idea where this one's going, but I guess I'm finished. Yes, but you know what's
somewhere on the top. Put it somewhere on the top. Like there are two.
You know what? It's not symmetrical there.
There. So if you put that in the middle.
I also have a scorpion left. I don't know where this goes, but I'll just put it on here as well then. Whatever. There we go. The scorpion. Spider.
You can put Spider-Man's head. There's a
spider. Let's put the spider on top as well. There we go. We can do anything with this. No idea what this is supposed to be. I think it's Spider-Man something. I don't know. Whatever. What you were saying about your most expensive set is the Millennium Falcon?
Yeah, after building the Falcon, I realized I liked building the rooms the most. So I
Sorry, you're breaking up. Can you repeat that? You break up.
So after the building the Millennium Falcon, I realized I liked building of that set. I like the building of the rooms the most. So I thought, yeah, probably I like it better if I have a set where it's more of the room building is in there, and like greebling and detail, but greebling in like objects, not just only like details that are in that are generic. Some more concrete detail. And so yeah, the Thor build was actually a fun result.
That is a fun set actually.
The Mos Eisley is also fun because it's actually a room and can put stuff in there. It's 3 buildings. Just that set by itself, you buy just that, and immediately you have a Tatooine setting.
That's also a nice set of yours, the Tatooine one. You know which set I will probably end up getting someday?
The Jabba throne room?
No. And you probably are going to be like, why? It's all the same color.
It's
the new 8080.
You already told me, and you haven't really explained yet, because you're right. You're always going on about how Star Wars is dull because it's gray.
But it's so badass looking. It's just so badass looking. I mean, probably because it's also one of the iconic pieces from the movie, I guess. But also it has a nice interior building. Did you see that guy? I think I gave you a link of the video. The guy that made his own 8080 with also a lot of interior, but that consists about like 50,000 something pieces. And that was also like, oh, so awesome. Yeah, but that wasn't an 8080 of that era, and I think it even has another name. Yeah, well, I don't know all the Star Wars references, but I can tell you one thing, it was really badass. I mean, just when you saw the interior and even the cockpit, it was like, oh god, that's so awesomely done. Yeah, it took a few scale, so yeah, those are impressive because of the size. Yeah. It is, and you wouldn't say if you see that first 50,000 pieces something, it's like, what? Then you see the Lego version has like, I don't know, 10,000, no, how much does it have? 7,000 pieces? I thought it was 8, but 8,000, yeah. And it's also a minifig scale, so are you going to get it? I don't know if it's actually minifig scale. Like, well, you can fit an entire crew in there. Haven't you seen it? Yeah, but people think it's UCS, so that means minifig scale. I think
Oh, I
Well,
actually
it's a UCSS minifix. I mean, yeah.
It's taking a while to look this up because I haven't. So the AT-AT. Oh, it's even only 6,700 or
Really? Wow.
6,800. So it's less even than the Millennium Falcon. But yeah, piece count by itself really doesn't say that much because depending on like the Millennium Falcon only has 7,000 pieces, but it weighs 13 kilos. There's a lot of big plates in there.
13
Even
kilos,
more than
damn.
that, the Star Destroyer only has 4,600 pieces,
And
and I
that's
think it
like,
weighs about the same because all of those pieces are like big plates. So yeah,
maybe, just maybe I'll get the Titanic as well. I know, I like it. If I
yeah.
have room to put it somewhere, that's the problem.
Room is one thing. Like I would absolutely not get the Titanic just because it's way too big, and
Well,
I
you
can
can put it on somewhere on top of a shelf or something. I mean, high in the sky. I mean, I don't know.
don't have any shelves left. Like the AT-AT.
You have a spare wall behind you. You can build a shelf over there. Behind you, there's a wall.
Sarah is saying that we've come at a nice point to round up.
We have to, but we have still to discuss every piece that's in the AT-AT.
Yeah, and we still have to discuss every little detail on your build because the AT-AT we can't even show, so that would be so
Well,
interesting.
this is
Just a quick rundown. What is that actually? Because I see it,
that's a
but
scene from in Spider-Man: No Way Home.
can you is that a
It's
scorpion? Is
just,
that or is that
no,
just a bug?
I don't know what this is actually doing in there because this wasn't in the movie. Oh, well, I have two of them. Yeah, you're not in the movie. Go away. So this is actually a scene from the movie. At the end, they have to go to the Statue of Liberty to make the final battle. But MJ and normally there's also Ned, but Ned isn't here. And Ned has apparently the powers of Doctor Strange, so we can open the portal that will connect to the Statue of Liberty so they can do stuff. I mean, still have to see the movie. But it's a scene from the movie.
Yeah, and especially Doctor Strange, I need to watch because that's basically that's a wizard, and that's more interesting than a superhero. So
that's just strange. I never found. Well, I think it's a cool movie, but to me, it's like it's the powers originating. Well, he gets his powers like by waving his hand. Okay, no. I'm not deeply involved with it. It's like, it's so weird. I mean, Iron Man builds his suits. Captain America gets injected with a serum. Hulk also because of the serum. I mean,
yeah, but that's
he just like, I used to do surgery. I can wave hands. I can make stuff happen.
It's
okay,
from
then.
a different part of fiction where it makes sense that there are just we don't understand everything about the universe, but there are
I guess so.
eldritch, esoteric ways to manipulate forces, and if you somehow, are able to that's magic the way that it's done in D&D, and for me,
I guess so. I mean, for me, because it's the Marvel universe, it's superheroes. The powers originated from somewhere. I guess so, because Doctor Strange was very good at microsurgeons. Maybe his hands were like, I don't know, yeah. I mean, sure, I can buy it at some point. I mean, I have coped with it. I have accepted it. So, yeah. So.
And with this, trying to make a nice final shot, I would say this is where we end for tonight.
Yes, we do.
We hope you enjoyed our
Hope you
chill stream.
enjoyed our. Yes, we do
I
some
would
more of these.
I
We
would
still have a
propose
few chill these left, I guess.
I would
Yes.
propose to just put it on YouTube as well. Minimum editing, if any.
You can
Um,
edit it. You can download it. You edit it. There you go. Do something. Sorry. Okay then. We'll see people next time. Bye bye. We go this way. Bye bye. And we stopping the stream. Bye bye.